This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats. Let's welcome these folks to the Uso Penitentiary.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the War Report podcast, brought to you by TagMeADate.com. Coming back soon, I promise. Well, another week has gone. Shit also happened, of course, after Tuesday, because why wouldn't it? Usually how it goes. But the nice thing, it always gives us something to talk about the following week. So welcome, everyone, to the War Report podcast. I don't know where to begin. Well, I do know where to begin.
What are you talking about, Steve? You don't know where to begin.
What?
What do you mean you don't know where to begin?
We've been waiting for this since Wednesday. Come
on. I know,
on.
seriously. We already know. Come on, man.
This is the only reason we get excited that this happens, because we get your fucking rant.
Unleash the beast, brother. We know why you're here.
You know, I gotta be honest. I'm pissed. Okay, we all know I'm pissed.
Oh yeah.
And the rant is gonna come. The rant's gonna come because it's been stewing for a while now. I don't know what bothers me more right now. We got the latest releases, a few that really hurt. Okay. But I really want to talk about what's happening with the Royal Rumble also. So I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit. But William fucking Regal, you release. That man has been so loyal to your company. And, you know, William Regal had he tweeted, you know, his first comments after the release, and he was very humble and he was very political and had nothing but great things to say, and basically said, if you're waiting for me to say anything negative, you're not going to get it from me, kind of thing, because it's been nothing but an amazing ride and an amazing experience. But I also think you let a guy like William Regal go that could go over to AEW. Even if he's there to help the young talent backstage. Doesn't have to be on air. Doesn't have to be a general, be a commissioner, be a manager. But you let a mind like that go is mind-blowing to me. Samoa Joe. Samoa fucking Joe, who you fired and then you brought back. And then because Triple H isn't there to watch what's going on, you let him. Listen, I know everybody's waiting for me to really explode about Samoa Joe. But I got to tell you, I'm glad they released Samoa Joe. Because Samoa Joe is going to go to Impact, or he's going to go to AEW, and he's going to get back in the fucking ring. And he's going to fucking destroy people like he used to, and not be a backstage puppet in WWE.
Yeah, for sure.
Samoa Joe is so much better. The fact that Samoa Joe was never a world champion on the main roster is a fucking disgrace. A fucking disgrace.
You tell him, Steve. Fuck.
I mean, And there's some comments coming through, and I promise we'll get to them. But that I really,
I don't know if I've heard that noise before.
I really hope he goes to AEW, and I hope he fucking kills it. And I hope he looks in the camera and just gives Vince McMahon the finger. You've ruined NXT. Oh, and then the Indian manager for Khali, Rajan Singh, right?
Yeah, Dave Kapoor, man, he's a very
Who
good.
Was a big deal backstage and big in handling NXT, more than most people know on air. Gone.
Yeah, and he was originally, I think he wrote for like SmackDown or Raw or both for a while too. Like he was.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
And don't forget, so is the Road Dogg. So is Scott Armstrong, who
Thank you. I was getting to that one.
Has been involved in WWE, either the NXT or WWE, well, you know, the one and the same, for another 20 plus years.
I didn't realize until I didn't put it together that they're brothers, and they fired a set of brothers. Like what? That takes some fucking balls.
Well, it's like when they did it to the Hebners. I mean, they at the time they deserved to get fired, but nonetheless, the brothers. So the Road Dogg, Jesse James,
the D-O-double-G,
the D-O fucking double G. Yep. The only good thing about that is we're going to get a reunion in AEW.
Correct.
The New Age fucking Outlaws,
right,
and the Gun Club are gonna bring in the D-O-double-G and say "fuck you" to Vince McMahon.
And again,
it's not so much that it's not, like you said, the releases. It's not a big deal with the fact that there's plenty of other competition out there. It's
you know what,
the disrespect that these guys are getting for how much years they put into the WWE. You want to fire new talent, indie talent, or whatever. Not that I'm for anybody getting fired. I get.
Where's the loyalty?
You're firing veterans.
Where's the loyalty?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Bam.
I mean, I just, it really, really, really bothers me. So that's my first thing. And I know Eddie's chomping at the bit to jump in here. I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to leave it to the floor. And I told you I'm going to jump because I got to get this out now before anyone else has the chance to say it. Okay?
We don't want pink slips. Go ahead. You're good.
What I hate the most about WWE right now, and hate is a strong word, and I'm using it because I mean it. What I hate about WWE right now is that they take away any fucking chance of element of surprise.
Yep.
When I think of 4 pay-per-views that mean more to me than anything every year, you got WrestleMania, you got Survivor Series, you got SummerSlam, and you have the Royal fucking Rumble. Those are your 4. The rest are filler.
Right.
Those are the 4. When I hear Royal Rumble, what I get excited about more than anything is who the fuck am I going to get surprised? Whose music am I going to hear? And I'm just going to fly off my fucking seat because I didn't expect AJ Styles to fucking debut in the WWE. Or I didn't expect the Hardy Boys to return at WrestleMania and enter in a fucking tag title match when they were in Ring of Honor the night before.
Yep.
The element of surprise is so important in this business, and the Royal Rumble is the platform for it, and you have taken it away. I didn't need you to tell me that Lita's going to be there. All I needed to do was hear the music.
Right.
McCool. Who the fuck cares about Summer Rae? That's a wasted fucking slot. You couldn't get anyone else. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay?
Yep.
Mickey James. Mickey James. We're talking about opening the forbidden doors. It's all over social media, and we're going to get to that too. We have so much to talk about. But the forbidden doors, how much better would the forbidden door been if Mickey James's music fucking hit and we didn't know?
And she comes out with the Impact Women's Championship as a surprise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I give it to you.
After all,
I don't know what's left for us to say. Eddie, you're on mute, baby.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I kind of like this lip reading game. We can't hear
Eddie,
you.
we can't hear you.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Still can't hear you.
Oh, no.
Still can't hear you, baby.
Now he looks like it's actually on mute, but it's not.
No,
now
I can read your lips saying I can't hear you, but no, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Okay, sign back out and sign back in. I caught the okay. See, I'm glad I know how to read lips.
All right, good. So, yeah, log out, log back in. Okay, we'll figure this out. Or go to your settings. Go to the audio settings. Okay,
He's in.
Cool.
But yeah, there's just too much to complain about. And like he even said, like, you know, who cares about Summer Rae? I know it was a big thing last week. Steve was joking around about it, which he jinxed it because now Kelly is in the fucking Royal Rumble. God help me. But I didn't, and they're wasting on the talent aspect. Why do we need the Bellas? Why do we need Summer Rae?
Because the Bellas have to have their kids watch them wrestle. Their kids.
Dude,
I'm not against the Bellas coming back to do a Rumble spot. I'm not. I think it's a cool thing for the fact that she can perform in front of her kid, even though he'll never remember a thing of it.
He's not gonna know anything of
at the end, no, but I get it. And you know what? Not for nothing. As much as we do or do not like them, they are a part of WWE history. They were around for a long time. They had titles. They're Hall of Famers, whether you want it to be or not. So they have a place in the Royal Rumble. It's filler. We said it last week, too. They're going to have trouble filling this fucking roster. So I'm not surprised by it, and I'm okay with it. And Kelly, you damn fucking right. I'm okay with that, too.
You ain't okay with it for the wrestling aspect. You're okay for it for the stink face aspect.
But see, that's
and let
that's
us say,
amen. Not, unfortunately,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
We got him.
Yeah. But basically, what I'll throw right to you in a sec, just basically what I'm thinking to counter your point there, Steve, or asking your question of why they're ruining the surprises. It's to sell subscriptions to, if they're not selling pay-per-view buys anymore, they're selling premium live events. They're selling Peacock subscriptions. So,
but in doing that, you are eliminating the element of surprise.
You're eliminating the biggest aspect.
Anyone that already had Peacock or knows what's going on with the Royal Rumble and knows how important the surprise aspect is already has a Peacock membership.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to go outside that and go, hey, remember Mickie James? Like somebody who hasn't watched wrestling in 5 years or something? Or, hey, Kelly, you remember Kelly? She was hot. She couldn't wrestle, but she was hot. Watch Kelly. Like, that's who they're not appealing to wrestling fans with this decision. Yeah. They're trying to appeal to outside sources, which
the outside sources don't care about Summer Rae and Michelle McCool. The only one that cares about Michelle McCool is The Undertaker.
The one thing WWE hasn't realized and hasn't tapped into is that AEW has. Everything now, not just pro wrestling, is a niche thing. There are channels, like if you don't play Dungeons & Dragons or you hate Dungeons & Dragons, there are channels on YouTube with millions of subscribers that get millions of views playing Dungeons & Dragons. One of the channels just raised like $10 million to make their own animated series. Wow. If you didn't watch, you have no, but that's something that's so far out of your scope, you wouldn't know. There are guys, who do music or car reviews or any kind of other stuff, video game reviews that get millions of views, but they're not going to get 2 million people on cable. They're going to get internet people and their own little niche audience for this kind of interest, whether it's cars or video games or whatever it is, or movies. And WWE is like that now. I think they have to engage the audience that they already have and have those people promote it to outside people. They can't just approach. If you try to approach someone from out that doesn't watch wrestling, they just go, "Oh, that fake stuff. Oh, I watched that when I was a kid. I remember Jimmy Superfly Snuka." That's all they're going to that's it. So they really should be appealing to their fans because their fans spend $2,000 on that stupid Fiend WWE title. They spend money on, I just bought a Macho Man jacket last week. That was $75. You know what I mean? appeal
But
to the
you're
people who are gonna
already a
spend
fan. That's
That's
the
what I'm saying.
difference.
They should appeal to those people who are spending money because they're already fans. They shouldn't.
Right now.
The new, they're not
Yeah.
attracting new people with Kelly and Mickey James, but they think they are. To you, Ed, because you got cut off.
No, like I said, I agree with Steve 110%, man. It's just Royal Rumble to me is very special. It's one of the four, right? The four core pay-per-views of the year. And taking away that element of surprise, you just kind of ruin it. I think it would have been a huge moment for Mickey to come out, surprise and entry, and then have the title, like Vince was saying. You take that away, and like I said, I mean, I hope to God there's a lot more surprise entries.
Well, and keep in mind,
There
dude,
still have to be. There's still 12 more spots.
Well, and keep in mind,
have something. So
keep in mind too, it's not even so much that it's Mickey James. Like I like Mickey James. I think she's great in the ring. And but it's not even the fact that it's Mickey James, it's the fact that it's an Impact Wrestling champion. Exactly. We are now opening that forbidden door, which in wrestling, and especially when it comes to the WWE, is a very big deal. Right. So now the question is, will we get anyone else from Impact? And Impact does work closely with AEW. Could we start to see some sort of round? I mean, listen, if the WWE was smart at this point, you would try and get all three of the brands to work together.
But
start a war in story, but all be together. I know they won't.
This is the same thing with anything. When WWE gets involved in another promotion, they have to be the one that, in the end, goes over. So they can't it would be like, okay, Kenny Omega has to lose to Roman Reigns, and that's the end of it. That would be like their pitch, or like Cody Rhodes has to.
But think about
you know what I mean.
But think about the potential too. You got Moose now tweeting out on Roman Reigns. I mean, that could be a great. Set. I mean, there's a lot of potential. We don't know how far this is going to go. We also don't know who else the forbidden door is going to be open to.
Yeah, you got to think about what happened with ROH, right? Final battle, that's that's over, right? So ROH.
Now they're on Impact.
I was thinking about there's a lot of great potential of having maybe one of those guys come out.
Well, it seems like a lot of them are already either joining AEW or Impact. But if they're in Impact and we're opening that door, then, there's possibility. I mean, there is some potential to some great things, but I want to see, you got to give me some surprise during this Rumble. I don't want to know all the big shit ahead of time. It's
100% agree.
It just ruins it for me. I would rather know. I would rather somebody spoil who the winner is than know who all the contestants are. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with that.
Yeah.
And I know in the past people declare for the Rumble, and that's a thing, but it's usually only a handful of people. Like, we've got basically the whole Women's Rumble declared. We've got a good portion of the men. To speak to the Impact Ring of Honor thing, Ring of Honor at the last Impact pay-per-view Hard to Kill, and then at the TV tapings in Dallas this week, a few of the Ring of Honor people, including Vincent, Taven, and Bennett from the Kingdom, which is weird because they were feuding with each other. But anyway, they're together. They invaded. They're called Honor No More. There's a faction. I think Dutch might be in there. I don't know. There's like a faction of like 5 or 6 guys from Ring of Honor that came in. And I think WWE will be and is more willing to work with Impact because they see them as less a threat than AEW. Them promoting Impact gets 100,000 viewers or whatever it is every week for their show. They're not going to go all of a sudden. It's not going to be 1 million viewers because Mickey James showed up on Impact. So there's no gamble for them. But if WWE brought out Kenny Omega as a surprise entrant, or like had the Young Bucks come over, or the Elite come over and fight the New Day or something like that, they wouldn't do it because the risk would be, wow, those guys are really good. I'm going to go watch that other show. Like they're such the show that's almost at 1 million viewers every week would suddenly get a lot more viewers. Like the one that has 100,000 viewers, no real.
Or to counter that, what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if they're like, okay, now you do that, And now maybe I might want to tune into Raw now because they're opening that forbidden door.
Right. Now, but here on the other side, too, to Vince's point before, which is the only part that really makes me think there's no way for this to really happen in a long-term type of situation, is because the WWE doesn't go into these kind of things to be the one that loses in the end. And you can't expect all of them to always be the ones that lose in the end, or whatever the case may be. So that's where you're going to run into an issue. It really depends on
15 years later or whatever
Right.
it was.
Yeah.
Like, how petty was that shit?
Right. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's Sting lose. I mean, seriously, if you're going to let Sting lose, then So that's the only reason why. Like, we obviously know there's no chance in hell Mickey James is winning this match. I mean,
obviously. Yeah.
So, or the Rumble. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, how they do it. Eric, welcome. You missed my rant. I went a little off the cuff, talking about the recent releases and the lack of element of surprise when it comes to the Royal Rumble, which really gets me fucking pissed off. So, did you want to jump in and say anything before we continue on?
No, I was just gonna ask, like, what thing are we pissed about now that I'm?
What are we not
jumping
pissed
into?
Definitely. Before we move on, I know that Tara had posted it or whatever, but the friend she's referring to is our friend Jason Sawyer. So happy birthday, Jason.
Oh yeah, I know this guy.
Hey,
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Feliz
Yeah, he-
cumpleaños, Jason.
Yeah,
Happy,
he listens
happy.
and chimes in a lot and everything too. He's a big, huge wrestling
comments-
fan.
He comments
he's
a lot
the
on our
Report
Facebook
He's
page.
been
too.
on. He's listened in the chat before and everything too. So
We appreciate everybody. that
Hell
listens.
yeah. Happy birthday.
You gotta take 2 beers. There you go.
What? 2 beer? What?
what?
Get you some tequila,
Yeah. What?
whiskey,
What?
What?
Jack Daniels,
What?
What?
vodka.
What?
All right, we can do this for the next
I
half
know.
hour.
I mean, it's for his birthday. He's got to go and drink it for his birthday. So I go.
That's
That's
awesome.
gonna
Sponsor.
last forever.
There you go.
So,
That's
Yeah,
yeah. Get through an hour. What?
I don't know that
Just
we
keep walking all day.
did everyone really get a chance to say their piece on really the releases before we move forward from that, and the lack of surprise with the women's Rumble.
But it's kind of there's a lack of surprise with the releases. Like NXT's dead. Of course, those guys are done.
No.
Go ahead.
100%, yeah.
Oh,
No, I mean,
NXT's
I
trash.
would say this. Tony Khan has a bunch of guys who are wrestlers who are the EVPs, right? Now with this current wave of releases, you give him someone like a William Regal to pick that brain, and all these other guys that WWE is releasing.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Exactly. Yeah. How amazing now would AEW really, if it wasn't like top tier, obviously the best wrestling promotion that's out right now. Like, can you imagine the possibilities now going forward? It's just crazy.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Like a mind.
I missed it. Sorry.
No, it's all good, but no, it's just you're agreeing. I mean, it's a mind like William Regal. You don't give the ability to go and coach this young company that 100%. Is kicking your fucking ass right now.
Exactly.
Even if it's not in overall numbers.
Right.
If you go on social media, AEW 9 times out of 10 over WWE right now, and that's for the better part of a year. Easy.
It's been Christmas all year long for AEW. I mean, WWE is just giving these gifts left and right. It's crazy.
Definitely.
And Regal, again, we're not saying like Regal or Road Dogg should go there and win a championship in AEW, but Regal.
I am.
No, they shouldn't get in the ring.
No. I think again, for like just having the minds of these guys.
Yeah, because Regal was one of those guys that they would send out on scouting stuff to amateur competitions, to independent wrestling shows. He was always sitting up in the balcony watching something on WrestleMania weekend. They'd always be like, "Oh, there's this indie show and Regal's there." Like, the guy knows his shit inside and out.
Exactly.
And was able to. He was one of those guys that was able to pick talent out to get developed. And now, unfortunately, the conclusion was the guys that Regal picked and the guys that Triple H picked were a failure. And it's not a failure of Triple H or Regal. It's a failure of the main roster taking what they developed and then continuing it. They would take what they developed and throw it all the fuck away.
Exactly.
Leo Kruger became Adam Rose. Not that he was a world beater, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brodus Clay became the Funkasaurus. Like, you take these guys from NXT and you pump them up to the main roster and you throw out everything that was unique about them. You get
Karrion Kross.
Yes, I was just going to say, you get rid of Scarlett, you get rid of the music, you dress them up like a goddamn BDSM gladiator, and you ruin Karrion Kross.
Keith the Beer Cat Lee.
Yeah. Keith, we're gonna call him Bearcat because some old black wrestler was called Bearcat.
Dijakovic is T-Bag,
Yeah.
T-Bar, whatever the
I
fuck.
can't believe this has been. Wait,
Oh, yeah.
can I get a clarification here? Has it been 1 year or has it been 2 whole years that Dijak has been T-Bar? How long? Why has it gone on?
It's gotta be 2 years.
That storyline started during the beginning of the pandemic, so that
Yeah.
was.
Oh my God,
I mean,
you're right.
I know
Horrible.
days
We're
and
coming
years
up on
seem
2
the
years of
same.
T-Bag.
That's it. 2 tea bags. That's usually what I take in my tea.
When you get large or extra large.
Wow.
I am not having a teabag conversation in a room with a bunch of guys. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Skip. What's the next thing we got, Steve? What's the next thing we got?
Well, I think we should.
No.
Oh wait, I think we should rejoice. Our tribal chief is back.
I gotta say, I'm so glad you have joined the podcast because you already knew the next words out of my mouth before I even said them. Because I was going to say we need to move right into SmackDown and the return of our tribal chief, the chosen one, with Paul Heyman, his advocate.
This is so weird, right?
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird. The whole thing is weird, but I got to tell you, I love when Roman comes out and says, "I never want to see Brock Lesnar again," and the music hits, and Brock Lesnar as a face who actually talks and shows personality is fucking gold.
I don't know.
He is hilarious. I love everything about it, and I love the setup that look, it's going to be Mania is when we're going to finally get Roman and Brock. I think Roman is dropping the title at Rumble. And I haven't said that for a while, but I think he drops it because ultimately they want to focus Roman Brock for WrestleMania.
Yeah. If they don't want to unify those belts, right? If we're talking,
it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
If they don't do that, I could see that happening because.
So then,
you don't.
Seth is going to win.
I was going to say, so Roman's dropping to Seth Rollins.
That's what it looks like.
So you don't think the Almighty stands a chance? No.
Last night, I think he's fucking fired. Like last night, he toasted him. He ethered him. That was the ether of Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley's career. It was done like after knock, who's there?
On a knock joke.
Exactly. Like once you get knocked out by a knock joke, you're dead. Like you.
Yeah, you're right.
24/7 champ, bro. You're done.
Yo, that's what's
exactly.
up. You better not say that, Vince.
Yo, he bodied him. Like I've never seen Brock Lesnar doesn't ever say shit like that. He just ended the whole man's whole career.
Yep.
And then, okay, hold on a second, Steve. I gotta.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Goddamn Hurt Business.
Yeah.
The Hurt Business. They got rid. They were together.
There is no Hurt Business.
And they got rid of him, and then they came back.
Yep.
And they broke him again. What the fuck?
Now,
actually, what the fuck? Like, why bother? Like what?
But were they actually really back? Because it just kept on saying that they were just trying to run in.
Only those two said they were back. Nobody clarified it with Bobby Lashley, apparently.
Bobby
You're
was
getting
just like
so red. You look like Brother Love right now. Just so you know.
And why didn't MVP? Bobby Lashley's getting fucking slaughtered on the microphone, and MVP can't say some shit.
But that doesn't mean that I like you.
Fuck, dude. Like that was legitimately confusing. Like, what can you imagine? Okay, fucking we never got into this. Big Swole said all this shit on her podcast a couple weeks ago about how WWE does diversity better than AEW, blah, blah, blah. And she mentioned how her daughter liked to watch WWE more than AEW because she saw more people that looked like her. But yeah, but your daughter's like 4 and doesn't understand that when they're on TV, they're being fucking embarrassed. Like, what the fuck? She doesn't understand that her dad's being booked into the fucking ground for the last 3 years and that he's going to be like, I just
That's not a fair comparison to use your kid because my son thinks that Bo Dallas is still the greatest wrestler of all time. He's 7.
Yeah,
it happens.
I was gonna say so, yeah.
Oh,
but
leave.
but like, I just don't get what do you do? Like, you're paying Cedric and Shelton to be on this roster, and then you send them out. They're relevant for a little while. Then, like, you never see them on TV. Then they're back. Like, what kind of emotional trauma must you be going through as like a person? I'm there one week, I'm not the next. They don't put me on TV for 3 months, and then I'm back with Bobby Lashley, and then we're not. Like, I could, like, I would, if I was one of those guys, if I was Shelton or Cedric, that shit would drive me nuts.
Yeah, bipolar Tony Storm.
Well, you wonder, I was going to say, you wonder why people walk off?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But that's like the entire WWE roster right now. If you're not part of his, I don't even want to say Big 10 because maybe it is 10. It might be less. But
Now,
if
like
you're
a phone plan, you got to circle
We can't
5
say
people.
inner circle.
yeah, exactly.
Stupid. It's an inner circle.
Yeah, it's like it's Brock, Roman. Those are the two top. Then that's the thing. For however long until Brock retires and Roman Reigns becomes a TV star or whatever, they're the top guys, and everybody else is like so far below them, it's not believable for them to win. Like, even I know Seth Rollins has beaten Roman Reigns before, and in matches, he's very competitive with Roman Reigns. But right now, that fucking geek Seth, they changed his name on the official WWE website, which means his name is now officially Seth freaking Rollins, which is about the lamest.
I think that's hilarious.
I think it's that's like a kid in middle school coming up with his own. I'm going to be Flash and like demanding everybody calls himself like what the fuck? Like, it's just it's so lame that you can't, like, the guy dresses up like Cruella de Vil and they expect us to take him seriously as a WWE
or Paddington.
Yeah, or Paddington. Like, but I just they've made him and Kevin Owens and everybody else who they're paying a lot of money seem like so much lesser than Brock and Roman.
Yeah.
That who the fuck cares? Like I feel so bad for Big E, but also they didn't do anything for him. He was WWE champion. He may as well, have left the belt at home with the way they fucking treated him.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really, we say 5,
created
and that's
another John Cena situation.
Right. It's 2. It's Brock and Roman, and then whatever 3 people haven't pissed Vince McMahon off this week. Like, those are the other top 5.
And Triple H doesn't even have any fucking power anymore.
That poor guy.
I'm more concerned about his health than anything.
Exactly. I don't think
You
it's him
think
having
that this
say.
is good for his health to sit back and watch everybody he loves and cares about be like basically destroyed?
Yeah, that's
all of
definitely
your
not
friends don't
healthy.
have careers.
The only one left is Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Yeah, but Sean's. I think Sean's part of that. Like Eric was
Sean's
saying,
safe.
maybe
Sean's
it's
not going
inner
anywhere.
circle.
Vince,
There's a couple people. Who
Sean
are
Sean is a Vince guy too. So I mean,
forever. He wouldn't let Sean go to WCW back in the day. He did everything to keep Shawn Michaels around.
Yeah.
So he's golden. Oh, did my mic go out? No. Okay.
no, you're good.
Wow.
I hit a cable and I thought it went out.
Really
but there's a
stemming
rumor.
from Montreal. Ever since then, Sean is.
Yeah, I mean, that's you're a company guy for life after that.
Yeah.
That's like what's his name? That bucktooth beaver motherfucker, Kevin Dunn.
Done.
His like the warehouse that they stored the WWE tapes was on fire, and his dad stored the tapes in the trunk of his car or something, and they saved the tapes. So Kevin Dunn will literally never be fired. There's a rumor though. I want to see what you guys think. There's a rumor or speculation online or suggestions online from fans that Triple H should leave the WWE and buy out or partner with Billy Corgan to own the NWA.
Oh.
Because Triple H is such an old school Harley race kind of Ric Flair, that would be a brand that Triple H would treat with respect and a title that would, but also, as cool as it is to say Billy Corgan owns a wrestling promotion, it doesn't have this. It's not reaching a lot of people right now.
Can he do it though? Realistically,
But,
I mean,
who knows?
I mean,
who fucking No, but I'm just saying
I'm
that's
just
it's a
saying, being
rule.
married
Yeah.
to Stephanie, like, is that something that could actually happen? Like, would he actually, like, I don't know. I'm not saying, like, can it,
Right.
like, legally, yes, it can happen, but
Yes,
like,
but would he as
theoretically, would it actually ever happen knowing that she's married to Stephanie? You know what I mean? Like,
right?
But we
I
don't know
think
what's
it's-
going on with their relationship right now during
Oh
this
my
whole thing
God.
either.
Let's not. I have not. Wait, what a minute. Wait. Has anybody heard anything about their relationship being on the
Stephanie
rocks?
must really be.
I
torn.
have heard nothing.
Good.
Uh,
Okay,
Except
good.
that
I don't-
with
Is
Stephanie's
Angle
still
back in the
making,
picture? Damn it! No.
Stephanie's still making public appearances and everything, and Hunter ain't doing shit.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, he
Well-
just had a fucking heart
Well,
attack,
he's
so-
recovering. He just
I
had
think
a
that's what he
fucking
is,
heart
yeah.
thing.
But I mean, it's been a couple of months now, but he could still do the bump or do stuff like that. He's not touching anything. Period.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I think he's probably.
I think they're just giving him time off. I mean, part of his, after something like that is like no stress. Like they're probably telling him he's not allowed to be back at work for X amount of time. And
Yeah, sure. No stress.
Yeah,
But by
have
the
no
way,
stress.
this friend's been fired. This friend's been
Yeah.
fired. This friend's been fired.
maybe Stephanie got rid of anything like all
Yeah, she like
TVs
deleted
and like
Twitter off his phone
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
that shit.
Yeah, I hope he's watching anything else other
Yeah,
than the
like,
product.
watch the Weather Channel. Triple
You'd
H.
have to
Like,
be
Exactly.
Daniel
There's a
Bryan,
lot of
you
great
know.
shows on Netflix.
Watch the
Hunter, I
Weather
hope you
Channel.
enjoy
You'd
some.
have
But
to be
again, you
Daniel
know
Bryan, who
Sean's
just
filling
didn't
him
own
in
the
too.
TV.
What, now he's got to be
No.
cut off from Shawn Michaels too, though? Come on, he
Yeah,
knows
well,
what's going on.
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh,
I know
no.
he's locked in, but it's still shitty. Like I can't imagine.
Oh,
I can't imagine.
no, I
What's
know.
the reason for your irreconcilable differences? My father-in-law took everybody I loved away from me.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a reason to get divorced, but hey, no, but
There's
I
any
get-
reason to get divorced nowadays.
But what if Stephanie is like more on her husband's side than her father's and her family's?
Yeah, you know what? I think honestly, I think if Triple H left and did something with another promotion or like not AEW, because that would be like,
WWE Civil War.
right. That would be if Triple H did something with AEW, that would lead to like some real infighting. But I think if Triple H started his own
That
promotion,
NWA thing is intriguing.
or by
though.
like if he partnered with I don't think they could be mad at that. They're like, they had 10,000 viewers on
Yeah.
YouTube. Like, who cares? Triple H can go. But I also think that would benefit that would benefit the NWA theoretically if they had
Yeah.
somebody
Absolutely.
who had a big a big name like that. That would also help them get bigger names.
Exactly.
Because they had a lot of momentum going into it, and then AEW came in and signed away like Ricky Starks and a bunch of other guys, Thunder Rosa. So NWA ended up not benefiting from that, and also Marty Scurll. He was supposed to be he was supposed to be like the next champion after Nick Aldis, or at least challenged for it, and then that whole Me Too thing came out about him. So Scurll's been done for a while. He's working in Puerto Rico now, but nobody mainstream is booking him. So NWA has been hurt, and I think something like that could help them. But it's
And what's Ring
it's
of Honor
far-fetched.
status?
what's that?
What's Ring of Honor status right now?
Their official relaunch is WrestleCon weekend in what is it, Dallas? Is that where
Dallas.
You want to say it's toward the end of this year, though? They said it was going to be later on in the year.
But they're doing a.
I'm just hoping the Briscoes get copped up by AEW beforehand.
I
I want to
think so.
see them
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, the Super Card of Honor is like April 1st or 2nd, I think, and it's going to be a pay-per-view. From what I heard earlier today on Wrestling Observer Live, was that they're continuing this route of being basically a super indie that books. They're going to have their champions on contracts, but everybody else is going to be filled out with independent talent that's not on long-term deals. Whether that means they come in for a set of 6 tapings that ends up being 6 episodes, or whether it means that they're on for short-term contracts of a couple months, or whatever it is, it's going to be more independent contractor style when Ring of Honor goes forward, rather than having a full roster.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
that's
they
not
just
how they-
invaded Impact.
Yep, yeah, we were talking. Honor No More is the faction, and that's the thing. We don't know if this is like the speculation is that Ring of Honor not executives, but like the people backstage have been keeping in touch with the Impact people and the independent wrestling people to kind of let them know of what's been going on with Ring of Honor. Be like, okay, you can do this, and this is kind of where we're going. Like Roxy lost the ROH Women's Championship to Deonna Purrazzo, which means if she keeps the title, Deonna is going to be on Super Card of Honor, and that's the first title change of a Ring of Honor title without the company being in business or running shows since then. So there's something going on where there's working agreements with these Ring of Honor guys to keep them employed or at least keep them on scene until the relaunch. Then we'll see from there. I mean, I really don't know what the format's going to be even after the pay-per-view, or what the reception is going to be to the format.
SmackDown. What happened on SmackDown?
Well, Roman Reigns and Brock and all them, they all kicked it off, which was
Paul Heyman had his like.
Please don't talk about him that way.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Oh, it was so good.
He's just
unbelievable.
Yep.
Heyman really is so good. But yeah, so I mean, that's always a home run way of kicking off the show.
Brock took that Superman punch and Roman just dipped. Yep. The one.
And then Brock laughed and had the smirk. And so it was a good way. And then obviously Shinsuke's dealing with some injury, so he hasn't been wrestling. So Boogs has been wrestling, and Boogs put on a hell of a fucking performance against Sami Zayn. That was really, really good. I mean, Boogs is just a beast. His strength is just ridiculous.
So here's what I want to ask you, Steve, since we're talking about it. I said this in the Facebook group the other day. If Nakamura's been having this hand injury or whatever it is for the last couple months, and Boogs announced, kind of revealed that in an interview, why? And he hasn't, since then, and even before the injury, he didn't defend the title. So why wouldn't you take the title off him or have Boog, or be like, hey, I'm injured. Boogs is imagine if he gave it like, you're gonna defend the title for me.
Do an interim thing like they doing with Cody.
I mean, I happen
title,
to agree with you completely. I mean, if this was back in the day, if you were a champion after 30 days, you have to relinquish your title.
Yeah, unless your name is Brock Lesnar.
Now, I'm not
Jack Tunney.
I mean, I'm not saying that I want them to strip Shinsuke of the title, but historically that should be why. The only reason why I could say they're getting away with it, so to speak, is because they have Boogs that can do all the wrestling for him right now, and he can still come out as champion.
Right,
and
he represents Nakamura.
Those two are so over right now, especially even with the whole Pat McAfee. That's why they're not touching it. That's why, because I mean, we've seen it how many times that neither Rick's wrestled or Shinsuke's wrestled. It's just him coming out and dancing,
comes out and,
and nobody gives a fuck. Like, yep, this is great. Let's party.
I get it. Listen, there's if you're over, you're over. But also, like, I don't know. I think it would be like once they found out that Shinsuke was injured, they should have done like a 3-way match with Shinsuke, Boogs, and then like Apollo Crews or something. And Apollo's about to win by pinning Nakamura, and Boogs like rolls him up, and they're still together. Not because Nakamura they didn't turn on each other in the match, so they can still be a group. But then Boogs, who can actually wrestle, has the belt. I don't know, but something about the.
I don't know. It's not bothering me.
Yeah,
it's not bothering me.
I just why you redesigned
Well, let's put it this way. Until that came out, did you realize it was really that long a time?
I saw a Facebook post about it being over 100 days.
Yeah, did you really notice it was that long?
Wait. That he hasn't wrestled in that long?
He hasn't defended.
He hasn't defended or wrestled in 3 months. Yeah, it's been 3 months. Did anybody?
Because he's always out there. You're right. I mean, he's staying relevant.
Nobody noticed he wasn't competing.
Which again is why they got away with it. I mean, I didn't realize it was that long.
Also, a lack of focus.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That's crazy. Wow.
That's the other thing is they're really.
It's in the chat, Eddie. I sent it. I put it up there yesterday. It's been 93 days since Shinsuke Nakamura has actually wrestled.
That's amazing.
And nobody noticed it.
I saw one earlier today that said Shinsuke Nakamura hasn't defended the Intercontinental title since November 26, 1994. And I was like, oh.
That's the last time they actually cared about the belt.
God, it seems like it. They do not treat that belt with much respect. I don't even know who is this is going to sound real dumb. Who's the U.S. champion right now?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest.
He's still the U.S. champion.
And he's doing a great job.
He didn't.
He's back
He
to
hasn't
babyface
lost it
again.
since
So
WrestleMania.
Nah,
Okay.
he's been killing it.
So they
He only
actually are
lost
treating
like
a
2
belt
matches.
nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that the right way.
Yeah, no, they're doing good for him.
Oh,
So, well, the next on SmackDown is Charlotte Flair made her Royal Rumble announcement that she is going to be in the Rumble and be able to choose who she's going to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Is that because?
And that's when they ruined the surprise, by the way.
Yeah, but is this in response to? Was this in response to Sasha? Even though Sasha said she's not severely injured, she suffered that leg injury during a match.
She won't be ready for the Rumble, I
Not
don't
for
think.
6 to 8.
So I feel like that tells you Sasha was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. Like I just have a sneaking suspicion Charlotte wouldn't be inserting herself as the champion if the winner didn't just get injured.
I would definitely. I would have
posted
picked Bailey over Sasha though.
Oh,
Like-
Facebook comments. Bailey
Oh, there
wins
we
the
go.
Rumble.
There we go.
don't
Hey,
hate
I just
that.
said that. Chitong, someone owes me a soda.
That's Tara.
Oh, Tara, you owe me a soda.
Yeah, everybody's on the same page, and I think it would be if they don't spoil it. Did they spoil Bailey
Oh,
already?
wait, nope. I'm yelling. I'm sorry. You're going to get yelled at again to say, like, that's the wrong person. Stop giving the Tara the credit. That was
no.
Justin. My bad.
Justin. Oh, my God. I heard it. We heard a scream from the other room. No,
Exactly.
Did they announce Bailey or no?
No.
Okay,
No.
good. So let's not, guys, if anybody's watching, don't announce Bailey if she's coming out for the Royal Rumble. Just let her.
Let it be a surprise.
Maybe that's the one surprise. Bailey comes out at number 30, dumps out Charlotte, boom, WrestleMania.
I'll tell
Oh,
you
we
what.
also get Asuka.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Asuka's the surprise, they're doing a damn good job of it.
Ooh, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know. Ever since that, like Team Tiki Talmain, like they haven't really treated her with much respect. Like, I don't know. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world. They don't do anything with her.
But see, that's an interesting thing that I think it was Eric that posted it or put it up, and someone put it in the group a couple weeks ago. Carrie Sane is still technically contracted with the WWE also.
Yeah, her contract is coming up soon. So
but that could be another.
Right. It could be a renewal, or it could be a not. Or
Yeah, but that could be another surprise entrant into the Rumble also as well. So then you have Asuka, Bailey, Carrie Sane.
Yeah.
So that still leaves.
And they said
9 more to go.
And they're not going to be using many NXT women, which they shouldn't because they're not that.
Exactly.
A lot of them aren't ready yet.
Oh, you know, Mandy Rose is coming into it,
right? I think the women who are more experienced in NXT, like your Mandy Roses and your Indy Hartwells and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think like
only
they'll put in Raquel Gonzalez. And
yeah. They might put in like 2 or 3 of those girls, but they're not going to put in like Cora Jade. I know she's like the new indie darling or whatever. She's like the new hot shit in NXT, and it's like the only reason I'm sorry, Internet.
She's like their Darby Allin.
I'm gonna get people,
don't you dare.
Yeah,
don't you dare.
I'm gonna get people riled up right now, but the only reason people at NXT are cheering for Cora Jade is because she's the only talent that got signed away from AEW by WWE. So they're like treating her like a big deal, like they poached somebody, and it's like I don't know, Avril Lavigne's little sister. Like nobody can like she's fine, she's not a bad wrestler, but she's like 12 years old. She's nowhere near ready to be a champion or anything. Like,
you're getting the Miz face from Autumn here, by the way,
she's
with
fine.
this
I have no problems with her, but that's yes, okay, exactly. You're taller than her. You can beat her up. That's the problem I have. You're 12 and you can beat her up.
13, get it right.
God, happy birthday. Whatever.
September.
Yeah, you get the point, though. Like,
it's like The Rock's birthday's May 2nd.
the whole
she needs more time.
Wow.
In the front spot.
You missed a whole chapter, she says.
Wow.
I missed a financial quarter of her life.
The Book of Autumn set.
And you're supposed to be her manager? What the hell?
You're fired.
Whoa.
Ah, God damn it.
You guys are managers.
You guys, the manager. That's Eddie.
Yeah, there you go.
I like him. He's cool.
I got you.
Like Cora, like she's fine. I just think that she's not. None of these people on NXT 2.0 are ready for TV, but they're on there, and that's the tragedy of it. They give 2 hours of TV, and I appreciate they're learning on the fly, but they're just like, oh, they're not. A lot of them are just not. They're not ready for prime time yet. Raw. We got 10 minutes to talk about Raw.
Oh,
Well,
That's
Raw,
what-
Raw. I mean, Raw. There's, in my opinion, and I think the group, the panel will agree. There's not much to cover.
We
I
can cover
thought,
Raw in 30 seconds. It sucked.
I
Am I?
I
am
I
I-
thought Raw. I thought Raw was okay. I didn't think it was anything great. There were only a few spots that I really enjoyed, which of course Brock Lesnar's segment at the
Oh, yeah.
beginning was a home run. And
Then it fell
Uh,
off.
She's all over the place. She's yelling at me on camera. She's in our YouTube comments. Oh,
That's it.
shit.
the Miz and Edge segment I thought was okay.
That was good.
You know,
I did enjoy Beth.
and I did
talking
enjoy, and I did
That
enjoy,
feedback is nice.
and I did enjoy the return of Little Miss Bliss with the psychologist. I loved it. So she's coming back. She'll be back at the Rumble, I'm sure. But outside of that, I didn't really think there was much to talk about. I mean, RK Bro, I guess we really should cover. They
That's
they
my
unfortunately
point.
lost.
Dude, that
Okay.
title change pissed me the fuck off.
Eric,
Yeah.
you know this is it, right?
Go ahead, Eric.
That's it. This is it for
I don't
Team RK-Bro.
understand. They're so
No,
over
you
it.
think they're gonna break them up now?
It's the WrestleMania match, dude. Like,
Exactly.
they're gonna do it. Yeah.
No, I'm not even talking about like that. I'm just like the title loss in general and the fucking.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Bring back
Dr.
Dr. Shelby.
It should have been Dr. Shelby.
They had a good run though.
That's
They did,
Justin.
yeah.
They did have a good run.
But like all good runs in WWE, they can't just go like because it happened last night with Rhea Ripley and Nikki. The tag team can't just shake hands and walk
The
away.
crowd couldn't give a fuck less
I get-
either.
That was so fucking stupid.
Why?
Who cares?
I'm glad I watched on Hulu because I fast forward all that.
Yeah, not that Rhea Ripley should.
There
be-
was no reaction from the crowd at
Yeah,
all.
and not that Rhea Ripley should be turning heel, but doesn't it make more sense that the tall woman dressed in all black leather who towers over this small superhero in a Halloween costume should be the bad guy? Like, why is
Right.
the smaller person
Really?
getting the advantage over
missed
this
that.
monster?
And there was
Like
a
the woman's
moment
a
where it looked
her
like it might
thigh is
happen.
the same size as Nikki. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But she's not a superhero.
She was
I guess
almost.
Nikki is almost a super villain.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
she changed her
You know
name.
what?
I mean,
If she, if she makes an evil costume and becomes
black and red and just come out.
She's more like a superhero in training, if you know what I mean.
almost a super villain.
They should have had her like cape get stuck in the door, and then the woman from the no capes.
We'll see. We'll see where they go with this crap.
No, but
Yeah.
Whoa, spicy autumn in the comments. Nobody likes. Nikki's a knockoff version of Thunder Rosa, and nobody likes Nikki or Rosa. I love Thunder Rosa.
Hey, yeah,
I
a lot
do
of people
too.
like
I
Thunder
love Thunder
Wow.
Rosa.
No.
You just said that to make me mad. I already know what the deal is.
Oh wow, is that what she did?
No, okay, this one is no, because this one's all about Jade Cargill.
I love Jade.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not.
She's
really
like a-
I was so happy
She's
when
like a
she won.
diehard Jade
No,
Cargill.
Ruby should have won that fucking thing.
Oh,
Hmm?
see, Eric.
Ruby
I
should have
thought-
won that thing.
I thought
Yes.
you would have picked Jade because I don't know if
well,
you guys have been listening to the podcast for
She's
a while.
just not that good to me.
Yeah, but Eric has what we call jungle fever.
yeah. Give me
Usually,
my
Really?
when he's picking a winner, it's usually like
Ember Moon.
He always like Ember Moon on his pick'ems never lost a match for 4
Kira
years.
Hogan.
Wow,
Yeah, Kira Hogan.
undefeated in his book.
Jade, yeah. Okay, so how about this? Wrestling aside, what do you think aesthetically and all that of Jade Cargill?
It's fine.
She's fine. What?
fine.
You don't think? I mean,
You
she's
put her on the
fine. Dude.
spot.
She's fine.
I don't know. Like
I think he's that she's
ever since-
falling. Like,
ever
girl,
since Jim
I'll
Cornette
put you
called
on a
her
butter and butter you up.
Shelton Benjamin and drag.
Put
I
you on a
can't
biscuit.
get that image out of my mind.
Wow.
He's
Jim
not-
You heard
Cornette
that
throwing
Jim Cornette called her
bombs.
that?
Wait, repeat that because not everybody heard you, Eric. Go ahead.
Jim Cornette said that he thinks that Jade looks like Shelton Benjamin in drag.
No.
Wow, that react. Yeah, no,
That's fucked up, but it's
What?
pretty damn funny.
That's-
I mean, listen, that's
It's
the
Jim
line.
Cornette.
Jim
What
Cornette
else do you
walks.
expect? Come on.
That,
Wow.
that's
That's-
Cornette.
Mhm. That's
I
Jim
would've thought
Cornette,
he'd
you
be
know.
all over Jade
Like,
Cargill,
It's
dude.
fucked up, but it's hilarious too. So you know, but I don't know. Like, no, she's okay, but you know, but frankly, as a performer, I don't really think much of
Yeah,
her
she's
either.
still new, and I think that's the thing. She's big and imposing, has a good look, and they wanted her on TV. She's not quite ready for prime time with her wrestling, but
I
she's
think I'm
besties
biased
with
towards
Brandy.
Ruby, though.
No, sorry.
she also can put there are so many veterans in that division that can drag her to a good match or help her learn while on the fly. But I also don't think this is a long-term thing. I think at the next pay-per-view or whatever, or on like a TBS, whatever, I think somebody's going to upset Jade. It's going to be like a Layla Hirsch, or it's going to be like, somebody like that you wouldn't expect. I think Layla Hirsch would be great because it would be unexpected. She's so small.
Right.
She could come in, kind of give her a surprise little whoop, whoop. And, I don't know. I think that's a potential, but who knows?
I know we're almost done, guys, and everything,
Yeah.
but we have to talk about Jurassic Express and Ray Phoenix and everything that happened.
Yes,
Ooh.
do it real
Oh my
quick, but that's a good
God.
call.
Holy
Ray
crap.
Phoenix, we thought Ray Phoenix's arm snapped off at the elbow, and that his career was done for like
It looked like a
year.
Sid moment. Like shit.
Yes, it
Yeah.
absolutely reminded me of Sid.
Gross looking, gross.
Yeah, it
Brutal.
turned out it was a hyperextension, like
A
basically-
hyperextended,
it bent
it was
the
a clean
wrong-
dislocation, thank God.
Yeah, a clean. That's the most important thing, because if it wasn't, then that's where things get a little, with
Right. It was
tendons and
a
nerves
compound
and-
dislocation, so it
So,
literally
real quick, do you blame the dinosaur, or was it the way he fell? He had to be the way he fell, right? Overall, it had to be himself, or
I
I
don't-
mean, things happen.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if there's
I guess
one
at that point.
cause. There's a couple things that I think. First of all, traditionally, when there's a table spot, the person who's going through the table sets up the table.
Mhm.
Not that it's Alex Eberhante's fault. Alex
Mhm.
Eberhante set the table up. Ray may have put the table farther away from the ring, whatever. You know what I mean? Ray, if he's taking the bump, might know where he wants the table.
gotcha.
I think he might have the choke slam might have overshot the table because it was closer to the apron. But the thing that and Phoenix panicked because he realized that he was going to take a bad bump on that, whether he put his arm down or not, because he was only like halfway on the table. He was going to take a nasty bump. The thing that he fucked up on, he panicked in the moment. He put his arm, like when you trip, your
he
instinct is
left
to
his
put your
arm
down.
out. Yep.
But he stuck it out, and it was just all his weight came down on that one arm. It could have been so much worse.
Like, correct me
shit
if
is
I'm wrong. Aren't they
gross.
taught to tuck their arm in onto the table?
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to do
Even
this.
when you're bumping, like you're never putting your hand down or out
Right.
behind you. It's always
So-
kind of like parallel.
So dinosaur safe. All right.
I don't know if the dinosaur's
Well,
safe. I
no,
think
because he didn't let go either, though.
I wonder if
He
it almost
held
looked like he was
him
trying
all
to
the way
place-
through to the table.
Place him on the table rather than.
It
throw
kind
him
of was
to the table,
both
yeah.
of their fault, honest. I mean,
Well,
not
that's
that
what I'm
it's
saying. It was
anyone's
just-
fault, but if you're
Right.
going to talk about botches, they both botched.
Yeah, it was a mutual. I think it was just a mutual thing where everybody was kind of maybe on different pages about what to do. I mean, it ended up with a nice, as bad as the injury was. The match all the way through up to that was great.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Jurassic
I mean,
Express
and then
finally wins
the
title.
emotional celebration, especially Jungle Boy's family.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
Jungle
crowd
Boy.
pulled
Yeah, that
together.
was awesome.
Acknowledging
That
his dad,
got me,
Luke
man.
Perry, and the
And
crowd.
Christian.
His mom
Yeah.
was there. His sister was there. Like it was
they
a
were
big.
so emotional.
It was a big moment for him, and I think he's. Excuse me. He's a big player.
Well, you
Going
got to
forward
remember
for them.
too, for Jungle Boy, his father is the reason why he got into wrestling. That was like their thing. They bonded over together.
Spitting
So
image
for
of his
the
father,
so
too.
so for the family, that brings back a lot of that, and you know,
definitely.
and it's fantastic, man. I'm
to
so
get a
happy.
moment
You
like
know,
that,
you look at their roster right now, and you look at their champions. It's the originals,
Exactly.
their own. You know what I
Right, and
mean?
that's
For the
what,
most part.
for as much criticism as they get about, they hire all these guys when WWE gets rid of them, it's like, well, look at who's
Well, they
champions.
gotta
These are
work.
people they've developed. Yeah, right. I mean, what are you going to take? That's like saying, the Bulls let Michael Jordan go. Why did the Lakers sign Michael Jordan? Like, of course. Like, what are you going to do? Like, not
I
take
will-
the best talent you have?
I will say this, and then Vince, I want you to take it
Yeah,
home because
that's
we're
what
at
I
top of the hour. But I leave us with this. WWE, you want to make it up to me personally for ruining the Royal Rumble for
I
me.
want them to send you a letter. Just like,
You can make it up to me by doing one thing. One thing. Let me hear the Fiend's music during the Rumble and have that motherfucker return,
Mhm.
and then I'll be
Ooh,
happy. And on that note, take it home.
spicy. I like that. I like that. Yeah, because we have no clue what's happening with Wyndham. We legitimately, there's been no word of Wyndham since there was a rumor that he was filming a horror movie, and there's really been no talk of him coming in.
Jesus,
Anyway.
can you imagine the pop? Holy fuck.
It would be great if he came. Also, because realistically, with Malachi Black already being AEW, what do you do with Spooky Guy Bray Wyatt? You know what I mean? You've already got Spooky Guy. So anyway, that's what we'll as we get. This is the magic of WrestleMania season. The road to WrestleMania. Yeah, that's exactly WWE's response. The middle finger emoji. It will be on official company letterhead FedEx to your house, signed by Bruce Pritchard.
It'll be a watermark.
Yeah.
With a trash bag.
No.
Yeah, it'll be in a. Oh, we didn't even talk about Mickey James getting her stuff put in a trash bag and then coming back for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
What?
they're probably
What?
paying her a lot of money. We'll
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
that
she's like,
more next week live,
better
6
get me
p.m.
money. Yeah, you better put my
Oh,
money in the
they're
trash
paying her.
bag.
They're paying her top dollar for this, I'm
Give her
sure.
a big old trash bag full of money. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another edition of the War Report. We were shot out of a cannon this week because, well, there were a lot of things to complain about. And the magic of WrestleMania season leading up to the Royal Rumble and beyond is that we have a lot of very interesting things that will happen, whether they are releases, surprises that are spoiled, anything of that nature, leading up to the big event itself, the Royal Rumble, which is usually my favorite pay-per-view of the year if they don't screw it up. So, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite. And we'll just see what happens, man. You know, the speculation of who comes back. Maybe there is a Wyndham Rotunda or a Bray Wyatt on his way back. Who knows? But we shall see. And the best way to find out is to keep tuning into the podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Eastern Time. That is our usual time that we live stream. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope. Just look for our username, Tag Me a Date. That's at Tag Me a Date, all one word, no spaces. Our social media profiles are the same. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everything is at Tag Me a Date. Just search for it. It'll come up. On YouTube, you type it in. You can you'll see our page where you can follow. Hit subscribe and the bell. If you're on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/War Report. That's also all in word, War Report, twitch.tv/War Report. And if you prefer an audio version rather than the video podcast, you can, of course, subscribe to our audio-only podcast feed, which is on your favorite podcast app of choice, such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. All you have to do is type in Tag Me a Date or the War Report, and it will get you there. When you're subscribing, there is another podcast called The War Report that also talks about wrestling. I'm sure they're nice people. I've never listened to their podcast. Just make sure that when you click subscribe, the icon that you see, the album artwork or whatever they call it now, our user profile picture will say The War Report, and it will also say Tag Me a Date on there, either at the top
And we
or
are
somewhere.
into our 8th year.
Right, we're also in our 8th year, so they just came on last year. So you should be able to tell which one has been on longer and which one is us. So subscribe to our podcast. I want to get those guys on and just talk to them one day and be like, first of all, how dare you? But anyway, I want you to subscribe to the audio version so you can take it with you. It goes up within the hour after we go off the air. So between 7 and 8, it gets uploaded to the audio podcast. And that's
Thank you,
about
Ryan,
it.
for that.
Yes, thank you, Ryan, who hopefully when his work shifts and all that gets straightened out, he comes on back. And we can have him on the show again. But other than that, that's it. We'll just be back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Spread the word, tell your friends, and come back next Tuesday for another podcast. Have a nice week, everybody.